guess you didn't realise that you'd be doing furniture removals today. So what I'd like to do is spend about 20 minutes just building on what was discussed today, and have a chance for everyone to put in, say, one sentence about, or one, or yes, short to see, message, about what they've learned or what they want, and I can suggest some topics, but I think possibly the best thing to do is go from my left, clockwise, and have one sentence from, or one question from someone, and then we'll try to find some very quick answers to the question.
To be honest, we're not going to be able to get around everyone with the questions. Just let people ask me questions and then move on to the next one.
Okay.
Because otherwise we'll stop with about you.
Okay.
These people on that side will be frustrated.
Okay. So do we have any questions from come on, gentleman in the orange?
It's not a question, just say what word suggestion which really arises from Sheila. Do it, start small, watch it grow.
Okay. And any sure.
I think today has been very useful for all of us. But I think one thing that would be at least as useful would be a roadmap going forward for how we can work.
Just to think that might be a good thing to be talking about. If we get this knowledge hub thing together, we just start to work together to prioritise what to do.
Any more questions? Gentlemen?
Can I say, fantastic. This has kind of opened my eyes, especially with regard to using things like Facebook, Twitter, these kind of for multiple purposes. I know that there's quite a lot of gotchas in social media, and I know that locking down privacy and how to deal with comments. I would feel more comfortable, and I've been in IT for years, if there was a common things you should set up if you are doing the following. If there was something like that that was available for everyone who was, or people who have used Facebook or Twitter in the past, where they can share their knowledge and just say, look, don't be scared, but just make sure that you check the following privacy or the following moderator. Yes, I do want to moderate comments before they go up. That kind of stuff, I think would give us all a feeling of more security for others in regard.
That's again is something that could be organised, hopefully through taking in your experiences, and we'll be inviting all the other community councils that we can contact, probably via community council liaison officers, because they have their contact list. Okay.
The fact you're saying that there's a bit on the social media on the website, it doesn't go into the details of how to use Facebook. It's got some good practice tips and examples. But if there was something that was missing today, you can look to add more on top of that, which is useful. Great.
I'll tell you what's missing today, and that's a microphone that could be passed around.
I'm learning how to. One of my learnings is how to organise some of those. And I think one lesson for me is for someone else to give the organisation to someone else.
We always got to think about the danger of giving any politician or budding politician a microphone.
That's why we said one sentence.
Okay. Any other point?
I was wondering, how would it have worked for you today if there was some community council liaison officers here in the room?
Why?
It might well have, yes, it might well have, because it might well be that we were looking for some support from our local authority. And we have a couple of groups, I was in that, that came through.
Yeah, because I'm here today with the Scottish Government. I'm happy to take challenges and any praise you can give me. Just to mention that David with the Improvement Service obviously here today, and I work closely with David on enhancing the local community councils. We work a lot with community council liaison officers, and I have a really good relationship with them. We had our biannual events. We had one in October this year, and we had one in March, which went really well and was very well attended. So I'm just wondering, wouldn't it be great if community council liaison officers could actually do the same work with yourselves, and you can just tell them.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Just making a point on the relationships thing, that's exactly what it's all about. It's developing relationships. We have a really good relationship with our local councillors, with our Scottish Borders Council, and the community at large. Never heard of a liaison officer, but something like the website that we've started to create is surely the place to have the toolkit for starting to build relationships. So whether they attend here to not, if I get on well line that she has to turn up, but somebody else has never seen them.
Yeah.
What difference does that make? But you do need to start trying to develop these relationships from both directions. I think if we can be made aware through your website, whoever the liaison officer is, then there's more chance you need to contact her or him or vice versa.
It is on the website, on the national website.
I don't know what
Yeah, no, it's really worth looking at, definitely.
Sorry, it's like everything else, it's already out of date. One of the cuts in quite a few of the local authorities is the community council liaison officer as a post or as even part of a job remit, and it's going to somebody else who's got another load of job to do, and we're having, your list floundering a little bit.
We're actually updating the list as we speak currently, so there will be an up-to-date list, and we will include that on the. You're going to be really busy with this place.
That's a really good point. Again, we'll talk about community council liaison officers. I don't want to all go away and start, having to go at all of them and finding out who they are, because some of them literally do have 1 hour every 2 weeks to do this, and it's to that 5 minutes more, and we don't even have enough time to do the basics, and it's incredibly frustrating for them that we've been given this. So it's not all about the people necessarily are just, we don't care, is it? We don't have the time, it is an add-on to the job. Not in all cases, but in some cases. So, it's about understanding that, and that's they're not getting the support from their council as well.
As I suggested, in that case, that you use to put it on the website would be the number of hours per week that is allocated to community council business from the community council. Then you'd see what was up against.
Okay, Alison, do you want to make a point?
Yes, I've never, okay, I'm new to the community council thing, but I've never even heard of a liaison officer. This lady here is saying that they're statutory, and then we hear that the government's being, their funding's being up. You can't have something statutory and then cut them down to the bare minimum, and maybe something else is going to give somewhere else in the council. That's point one. And the second point is I don't know how much amount of time, there's two obviously councillors here, but community councillors, but I don't know how much time you facilitators, and this is the criticism, are actually spending coming to see what it is we do, how hard it is we work, on all of those sort of things. I don't know if you visit from the top down, because when you're at the down bit, it's nice to know that the top is looking, popping in.
I can answer some of that actually. Marianne is a community councillor, so I'm the secretary for 3 community councils in Edinburgh, so I get at least 3 meetings a month. So I do hear stuff, but I'd like to hear more because Edinburgh's a big city. I'd like to hear more what's going on in other areas of Scotland. That's not popular, I'm going to do that. So up here and then the same.
Coming back to community liaison officers, I mean, we had a very positive experience with our community liaison officer in East Hampshire, and he had a vast amount of experience working in other areas, and we've done a lot of things, but unfortunately, we have got, if you look at our community council sometimes, we've got some community councils that just didn't want to do anything to improve connection with the community. And one was that basically handled this guy, and they're handling him with 50 emails a day, putting in complaints about him, and all the guy was trying to do is help. I mean, then going off sick and return back to his post. So all I'd say is, if you do have to liaise with your liaison officer, I mean, trying to keep it polite, and I have got challenging things, but most of my experience is they do want to work with you, but they don't sort of publish and so, because, you know, they've got a challenging time. But I just feel sad because this particular individual was very experienced and there's so much potential what he could enhance the things, but because of some very negative knowledge community councils, you know, we lost that kind of thing. It's just a great shame.
I think today's been fantastic, and it's been about digital engagement, and it's been really, really useful for me as the less than 24-hour-old community councillor. But obviously there's a big need that people want to share much more of the digital engagement, and what I don't know whether anybody else knows, is there any mechanism whereby there's a body, perhaps, or DEMSOC or somebody, who could get some funding for us to come together and thrash out all of these things, because it's been great.
In terms of DEMSOC funding, we don't have any. We are funded by the projects that we do.
Yes.
We don't have some magical benefactor
No, I
somewhere
understand
that
that,
funds
yeah.
us, but I've got my resources, which is my time, and I'm happy to have conversations with people if they want to explore stuff further. But then I can't promise, you know, there'll be a pot of gold, or you know. But it's good to have more conversations and think about how you want to explore in your communities, and I'd be happy to go out beyond the Cozy Central Belt and explore that further in my time to do that.
So meeting in the south.
I mean, yeah, we can. It sounds great. Let's do that. Yeah. Community councils on tour.
Question around food deprivation. We had a chat at the table about food banks, and we all realised we're all quite a number of food banks in our area, but we've actually not got up our community council. I would value anyone else who was brought it up, and what approach they took, and what's happened. Well, I guess we just promote stuff on our social media, so we're linked in with our local food bank. Whenever they send us campaigns or information, we do our best to help promote that. That's what we do at the moment.
I've seen some research into social aspects of food banks outside of Scotland, I think Manchester and somewhere else in England. I don't know, but possibly put you in contact with the researcher practitioners there, if that would be useful. Any more questions or points? Well, maybe try something. We tried to find some solutions, and we've talked all about that earlier. My question for everyone is, who should develop the solutions? Should it be community councils themselves? Should it be local authorities? Should it be Scottish Government? Should it be external bodies? Should it be several of these working together? What are your ideas?
Yeah, combined operations is a key.
And can anyone name any specific things that should be in the combined operations? I mean, the idea is that.
Specific things within the organisation.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I think people would agree that it's from every level, from people that live in the communities where the community councils are, the actual citizens, then the community councils, then the local authorities, and then if need be, you know, the Scottish Government. And then, I mean, there's probably other places in between. There's lots of different people who need to have a conversation, and the opportunity to find in the space to have that conversation. I mean, are you talking about in terms of improving community councils in general, or are you talking about just the work of community councils?
I guess that the community council are composed of community councillors, individual people. So and I think there's room to upskill community councillors, and that will raise the general skill level of community councillors. One of my concerns, as I said, is what happens if I fall under a tram? What happens to who's going to carry on taking the minutes and running the websites of the community councils I work with? So I want to have other people on those community councils who can take over from me, who have the skills, or at least know where to go and get the skills to do that. So I would ask how you go about making sure that you have colleagues who can take over if you fall under a panel down a pothole or whatever.
Or just go on holiday, you know.
That's the vast thing, is down to your local community council. The only people that know who could succeed is them. So probably none of us have succession planning in the business, but you probably don't do it in community council. But it's probably something that as a regular thing you should be thinking about. Who would be the person that takes over from the other not here, or start to actually work with them. And you probably all have been secretaries and you just take minutes all the time, but you should probably swap that around a bit. My kind of point was really about, a lot of talk has been around, well, we're sort of community council formal bodies, we're a bit staid and boring, but people are moving on now and they're starting to tweet and Twitter and Facebook and everything else. And in the legislation that we have, do we have to continue in this sort of manner with the formal minutes that you meet every 2 months, or trying to start to develop it so that you don't necessarily have to have these formal meetings every month and a bit more social?
I don't know. I mean, David and Anthony can say more about the standard guidance of community councils, but from my knowledge of the legislation, there's a legal duty to ascertain, another word, and disseminate community opinions. That's, as far as I'm aware, the duty. And how you do that would be a matter of what works, I think.
A lot of it is in legislation, i.e. the community council scheme.
Yes, the legislation says each local authority should have a community charter scheme, and there are multiple schemes that are updated every now and then. Perhaps how much legislative power do they have?
We have only one member of our community council who doesn't have an email address. She's a female, she's 87, and she says she's not can afford it. Nowadays, it's a crossover for someone to follow the community council's goings on, right, by a tablet costing under £100. That is not a huge amount of money today.
That doesn't directly connect to
Against the funding you get, your grant, it is a lot of money.
Can I go back to your original and the big point about succession? And one of the exciting things about the new model scheme, this constitution as we call it, that we're working through, is that 16 and 17-year-olds can get involved. And I'm sorry folks, I'm a teacher, so I'm looking for skills for my youngsters as well. And I would like to explore that they shadow some of the office bearers, so that, you know, they are there. So if I go on holiday, one of the young people can step in. And I'm wondering if that can then, and I haven't worked this one all out, but that could then go towards something like salt fire accreditation, or, you know, something there, so that it's more. Because what will happen with the young people, because this is what's happened in the past, is they come along, and when they get to the age where they go to college or move on, you lose them. They're not part of they're still part of the community, but they're not living within the community. But it would give them an experience which I think might upskill them, as well as help the community council to ascertain the views of the community, because that's the group that's quite difficult. Scottish Youth Parliament is brilliant for that, but it's continually working, and again it's this networking with what's already in the local area, and it may not be in every area in Scotland, but I'm in an area where that's a high priority.
And we have looked into that, David, haven't we? Part of our work of the improvement service how to engage young people, and I believe that your predecessor had conversations with the Duke of Edinburgh Award, for example, and we will be accredited for being a member of the community council. But I suppose the disadvantage is what's the excitement for a young person on the community council?
That's our challenge as community councils, to sort that one out. And if it's something to do with the local area, there's lots of issues.
It's difficult. I think it's challenging to engage them. I've only ever attended one community council meeting in my life. That was in North Berwick, and I just went along because I was in this new job. I've never heard. I've lived in Scotland 5 years. I've been there 3.5 years. I've never heard of community council. first time I heard of them was when I applied for my job, and part of my job was policy community council. So, but, so I had to learn as much as I could very quickly. I went to that meeting and they just talked about planning for now. That was it.
Can I just say that our community council, actually, as a youth member, we co-opt to it because in our area we don't have any local facilities, there's no library and all we've got is a church. But because of that, there's a very active youth club and youth group. Through that and the leaders, we have representatives on the community council. And a couple of them actually gone on from that to get employment through the work with the youth club and accreditation with various things. So that is one way to get the youth on as actual community council.
We did the same through the high school. We did the two from the high school and two from the local youth group.
I've been trying to think how I can bring more groups under the community council umbrella, and I think I didn't want to just encourage people to come to the meeting because they'll just come to the meeting, see it's boring, and then not come back again. But I wanted this sort of hinterland of people that were aware of the community council, that if they needed us, they would come, but they would still stay connected. So we've actually been trying to, I've been trying to make connections with residents' associations. So the residents' associations are all quite good at organising themselves within a closer group. And maybe the convener of the residents' association is a member of the community council. We've tried to set up a traders' association, still trying to set up another one at the moment, and hope that the traders would then be representing the community council and try and get these other groups also to cross. I don't want to use but try and get that as a Venn diagram of sort of just, and then you're all sort of talking and sharing and using your own digital networks as well. So quite often through that method I'll get maybe 3 or 4 emails about the same thing because people are all going, oh actually Susan probably needs to know about that. So it's a an actual structure that are in the communities already. Let's not try and invent the wheel again, but actually use other.
So you're tapping into the energies that are available in slightly different community facet. And you say you have emails. How else do you communicate with these groups?
With other groups, it will be emails. Some of them are on Facebook. We'll look at our Facebook page. But I have to say, the people that respond to our Facebook page, I've never heard of them, which is great. You know, they don't come to our meetings. They're not on my attendees list. I'm not quite sure how. So I know that if I put a post about parking, I'll get who are these people? No, it's great. And I have to try and tell myself I can't solve every one of their problems. But if I quite often do solve each other's problems sometimes on the online.
So you're
not that active, but
sometimes
allowing them to,
That's very encouraging.
Well, but it doesn't happen a lot, and it only happens in a small way, but it does makes me want to keep going when it happens.
Well, thinking of that, what I'd invite everyone to do is to think of a success story, and again, you can send it in through knowledge or through personal email, and then a success story and why it's a success, what were the magic ingredients, and then we can maybe do some analysis and see if that's something that we can then push on to other community councils. Would that be agreeable to everyone? Okay. One of the things that came out of the research I did recently was that a community council suddenly, for some reason, they got a whole load of new members who had a bit of drive, and they realised that they had a website which was based on a local authority provided template, which was not good and nothing else, and they had suffering from the usual thing of, community council, who wants to know about them? And so what they did was they went out, they wanted audience, they wanted, and they knew that the only way to gain that was to go out and do stuff within their community. So it was something like, let's have a litter pick, let's go and find out about where the dog mess is congregating, and involved their community in various things. If one of them was here, I'm sure they could speak it more clearly. But it was about going out and involving their community first, and then from that they got their audiences. I think about 400 on Facebook, 300 on Twitter, and I don't know how many follow their website. I didn't have a number of them, sorry, it slipped my head. So my question is, for you, what comes first, the digital engagement about activities or the activities that there needs to be digital engagement? Any views on that? Yeah.
Yeah, it is, but by doing the activities, that's when you get the chance to speak to people face to face and say, by the way, we've got Facebook, or we've got Twitter, give them your email address. And then it actually starts to build up.
I did one success story recently. Partly encouraged by the city spending money on people to go and play tennis. What that told you about pressure group arose, because the city picked places that was going to be involved in the common games, like West End. There were several places, but they didn't look at other places where tennis had simply stopped being played. So pressure group arose on the south side. There are more places where we can play tennis. Young people can go out and play tennis free of cost.
That came from a pressure group that was...
It came from a pressure group which came from the city. There's some people living here who used to play tennis when they were young, looked at the local park and said, I don't see anyone playing tennis there. They simply found people dealing with this in community various other places, and they ended up with a group of people who were there, I think somewhere like 80 local people. They gathered themselves and spoke to you, and then they sent off letters and emails and you know, under a mass request to do something, and the city did. And people now, they sent from the London Environmental Services Group, sent out people to retake the lines and do the bits and pieces to make and renew the nets. So we've now got tennis being played again, where it hadn't been for more than a generation.
Is there anything else you want to...
Just... If you ever do this thing again, have an audio system.
Excuse me?
If you ever do this again,
you just demonstrated.
Have an audio system.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
That's all I've got, tennis and free.
Okay. What?
You can play tennis for free in Boston.
Okay.